don't tell them they're dumb. I said, I'm glad that's your convictions. I just don't want you to put that conviction on me when I don't have it. Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. You know I'm going to talk about this. If you watch the Commonwealth Picker channel, you've probably been waiting for this topic to come up. I bought something that a lot of people did not like that I bought. And they didn't like it so much that they took the time to comment and tell me or send me a message. They took the time to come to this channel and unsubscribe to. And this blows my mind. I know I am not in the minority out there in this opinion amongst resellers, but you tell me. And I had a few other topics today. Matter of fact, this video is gonna be about something else, but we're shifting it here just because I'm a little riled up. Let me go turn this AC off. We were going to also look at the June numbers. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that I set a huge goal for us because this is a pretty small operation here. Although with adding Jess to it a couple days a week for live selling, it made it attainable. These granite, you might remember this on the Commonwealth Picker channel. This sale was so cheap, I just started picking stuff up and I got into my old antique booth mentality and I'm like, yeah, somebody would buy those. They're like granite, heavy canisters. I'm like, yeah, somebody's gonna buy these eventually. And they did, $26.95 plus shipping. Speaking of the June numbers, see, I already got that out earlier today. I'm like, you know what, let's do this instead. I don't want to deal with this topic, but I thought, you know what, it's a pretty good reselling topic. So we're gonna push back the June numbers one more video. I'll just give you a little heads up. It's definitely within the realm of possibility we're gonna hit our goal by December 31st this year, hopefully. I knew when I left that shed I'd have to go back in there for something. Let me start off by saying this. If you watch the Commonwealth Picker channel, I thought that there would be controversy over the fact that I bought lawn darts at this sale. Well, I'm not gonna go into the justification for it. I will just say that they were perfect in a box. They were gonna be somebody's nice display. I bought them, sold them immediately when I got to my truck to a guy that followed me down. And I thought that was gonna be the controversy in that video, and it was anything but. You know, I haven't seen Jess in days, so I've had to come in and get some work done, some eBay work done. She will be here tomorrow though. We're doing a live over there on one of those. Did it 8. This bag right here, I probably should have done it in here. It's nice and cool, but I'll shut the door. This is a Filson bag. You might remember me picking this up at that university sale, and I did not clean it. I thought about it because I knew I could probably get like $2.50 for it if I cleaned it. And I'm like, let's just list it, get it going. And I paid next to nothing. 10 bucks, 5 bucks. I think it was 5. That Filson bag, you know, sold for 175 bucks plus shipping. Let me back up just a second. So I've obviously been doing this channel for years. I've been picking for years. Most of you have been watching forever, but we get new people coming in. So I will just say that I have received more criticism, political criticism, than I ever have before for items that I am selling. And it's always happened for the 7 years or however long I've been on YouTube. It's always happened, but it has increased exponentially in the last, let's say, year and a half or so. And, you know, there are some things I don't sell, but I also don't tell people, hey, you don't sell those things, you know. Things, you know, I don't sell pornography. My wife wouldn't let me bring this stuff in here with the kids. It's not happening. And if you watch the Picker channel, you know I always search the searching for Taylor segment. You know, every time I see a box of CDs, I can't help but look to find. By the way, on the next video, you'll see I sold a Taylor Swift item. It wasn't a CD that I had found that I've been looking for. There's a lot of those that go for good money. But, I mean, I've got criticism for like, oh, why would you buy that stuff and whatever and all that kind of stuff. I got one last week. I couldn't believe this. I sold that Bruce Springsteen box set CD thing. And I had tons of people, well, I shouldn't say tons, 3 or 4 people, different platforms, say, I would never sell that guy's stuff and whatever. I was like, okay, where's my Hulk Hogan doll? Right here, I've got that on Hulk Hogan. Like, why would you ever do that? And you're despicable and this and that. Don't you have any morals? And I'm like, holy moly. You know, I've got it on Disney stuff years ago. I don't get so much Disney stuff anymore, but like, why would you sell Disney stuff or... What else? Oh, I've got it from Harry Potter. You know, I've got it. You know, why would you let your daughter watch that stuff? So I'm pretty used to this stuff. And I'm also used to the back and forth. You know, I said before, I taught in a public school, and you know, you try to avoid things that are political, but you really have to address some things. You have to get in there and let people shape their own opinions and their own mindset. So I'm very well aware of all this stuff. I will even admit to, when I'm out at sales, avoiding certain items that I know will bring a response that will be negative from a certain part of my audience, whether that's on the left or on the right or whatever it is. And so, of course, you know, selling Bibles and stuff like that over the years, people have their criticisms of that as well. And lately I've been getting more and more of it. But this one was pretty pronounced. So much so that it started to get insane in the comment section. And I try not to delete very many comments unless they get nasty or personal. I don't. Well, I had to delete quite a few on my last video. I thought it was going to be about those jarts, but it wasn't. Let me show you the item. All right, y'all, here it is. Here's the item that cost me all the subscribers on 2 channels. They came over here too and left messages. CF, let me talk about it. Obviously, it's a MAGA hat. Now, keep in mind, I live in Southwest Virginia, so, you know, the politics around here is decidedly more right. I grew up in California, so you know, I taught in a public school that was anything but predominantly right. So it's not like I'm completely oblivious to what's going on out there. I understand the different opinions and the strife and all the different things from different people. But I've been looking for these things for years. I pass up Donald Trump items constantly, all the time. I am a bipartisan reseller. I will, but as long as it doesn't go against my conscience, I will do it. And I mean that not on a political scale. I mean that on like the depth issues, right? And I get that some people feel that way about that hat in particular. I don't feel that way about that hat. If you've watched my channel forever, I sold last year, as maybe a year and a half ago, I was selling Joe Biden dolls. And they weren't derogatory ones either. I've sold Obama stuff. I picked up something on an Obama item from a lady down in, I don't know what part of Virginia that was. It's a tiny little town. Wonderful lady in a little tiny store. She was sweet as could be. I picked that up because it's sold. I've sold Hillary Clinton items. I've sold everything. It doesn't make a difference to me. I just find it a little bit funny, and I want to get some feedback from some folks, because I know there are people on the left who would sell that hat, and there are people on the right who would sell any kind of other item out there. I guarantee there will be. Look in the comments. Now, there'll be some people who will completely disagree, and that's fine. I'm not here to tell you what you should sell and what you shouldn't sell. What I find interesting is that I've been picking up stuff like that and setting it down and not buying it for a long time and never losing subscribers before. But the fact that I bought that one is what really did it for them. Actually, there was a second item in there too. It was a Kid Rock CD that was sealed, which isn't worth very much at all. But I figured I could just add it to one of my media shows over on Dibbed It. And I did it because everything was so cheap. This is why I picked this one up. If you find one that says Cali Fame Headwear made in the USA, that's the one that sells for good money. A lot of it doesn't. If you don't believe me, look it up. Go check it out. And would you pass it up because you don't align with something? By the way, this is no judgment on anybody who does have feelings about whatever it is you have feelings about that don't align with me. I mean, shoot, that's your prerogative. Of course it is. I'm not going to tell you you're dumb for not doing something. I don't tell the people who tell me that, you know, I should give away all Bibles and you should never sell a Bible. I don't tell them they're dumb. I said, I'm glad that's your convictions. I just don't want you to put that conviction on me when I don't have it. It got me thinking a little bit, like when we're talking about Hulk Hogan and different things. I mean, it would be a pretty set, like, here's an example. I don't think I have any back here, but I like Green Day. I love songs from Green Day, always have. I'm sure their political opinion doesn't align with, say, Kid Rock's in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to buy it because I like it. That's just me. I don't have that kind of deep-rooted, I don't know, conviction, I guess. I do have deep-rooted convictions, but I don't have the deep-rooted conviction that tells me, hey, don't buy a used Green Day CD and listen to it. It's just not me. Hug a bunch, y'all. Nobody can argue with selling a Hug a Bunch, thank goodness. But man, you could dig into all kinds of stuff. and figure out some reason, some way, somehow that you shouldn't be doing something. I know people who won't sell something made in China, which really limits what you're going to sell. I get that. Hug a Bunch. This one sold for good money, y'all. I love Hug a Bunches. $41.36 plus shipping. So I'm not asking anybody to see things the way that I see them, but I do want to express how I see them. So obviously I was a teacher. Let me tell a story from my experience as a teacher at a school that was, I've talked about it before, it was racially divided, religiously divided, politically divided. It was the most, I mean, it was the biggest mismatched place you could ever imagine. And so it was always, there always was this underlying tension. But it somehow still worked, and we were still somehow all together and moving somewhat in the same direction. Now, there were big issues, and part of those is why I left. But there were two particular teachers. They both taught the exact same subject. They could not be any more different with everything. Politics, religion, family, you know, all of it. Totally different. And they were both excellent, amazing teachers. They were both really respected by the kids. They were engaging. They were thoughtful. They were kind. They really enjoyed the students. The students really enjoyed them. They were high-level teachers that got their kids to achieve. Totally different sides of the aisle. Couldn't be more different. And what I saw with both of them is they weren't going to take an idea or an opportunity for a thought or for growth away from somebody they disagreed with, because that wasn't their job. That's kind of the way I see it out there when I'm out there picking. Am I not supposed to pick this item or even talk about it? I feel like, hey, no matter which side of the aisle somebody's watching this video, there's people out there that would like to know the difference between this hat that looks the exact same as that hat. Why is that one something you're going to pick up, and why is that one something you're going to drop off or not pick up? And y'all, I'm not saying don't be passionate. Be passionate. There's a ton of things that I'm passionate about. One of those things is people in general. And there, you know, we all have families. Listen, there are people in my family that totally disagree with what I believe in my heart of hearts. Completely, 100%. I think this one sold. I gotta get this right. Yeah, that one sold for $42.70. There's no chance that I'm not gonna go visit a relative, close relative, y'all, that doesn't agree with me. I hope this is right too. It might not be. I can't tell. No, I don't think that one sold. I can't really tell. Let me look. Is that purple? Nope, that's blue on the inside. I bought this whole box for $10, and my wife divided it up into all these lots. Hope this is all of them. This one sold. So $10, and we've already got $42.70 for that one. This one sold for $25.60. And then what's this other one? Peppa Pig Schoolhouse. Is that a schoolhouse, y'all? Yeah, that is a schoolhouse. That is the right one. Cool. Just open, so I couldn't tell. That sold for $42.70 plus shipping as well. So we're already looking at $110 plus shipping for those three. Still have these lots left and only paid $10. And y'all, there are folks out there in the audience listening to this right now who I have got to know that, and I'm not just talking on, you know, I don't film myself at my dinner table with my kids and my wife, right? We don't have these conversations on YouTube. I can't imagine that. That'd be a heck of a comment section. But there are some people out there listening. You know who you are. I'm not going to mention your names. I've ate dinner with you. We've spent time together. And when you do that, you know, you start to learn a little bit about people. I don't hate anybody that disagrees with me. And none of those people, not one of them, has ever done or said anything to me. They still watch the channel. They still support, regardless. And you know who you are. So that's who I am. If people want to, whatever it is, if I sell a Bruce Springsteen box CD set and you don't like his politics, so you're not going to watch my channel anymore, fine. That's zero problem to me. Not a problem whatsoever. Same thing with a MAGA hat or whatever it is. If there's something so small like that, then that's perfectly fine with me. Y'all, I dated a Dodger fan when I lived in California, and I married a Yankee fan, for goodness sake. So it's hard to fit me. All right, here we go. Little Angel. This is Gwen Stefani's perfume or something, I think. I've never seen anything like this before. Didn't sell for a bunch, but it did sell. $12.95 for that one, plus shipping. Y'all, speaking of somebody I know, ABC Matt out there in Oregon. Check this hat. This is my favorite hat ever. You can tell because it's absolutely filthy. I think he noticed. And look at this. He sent me another one. I never even broke out the other white. I think he sent me another white one, Matt. But thank you very kindly, y'all. Go check him out. You can get that QR code. He's got a YouTube channel. Super nice guy. Met him multiple times like I have met many of you out there. And he's got the merch. Look at this thing. I love. And he's got to throw this in. By the way, if you're new to the channel, this is a lie. This is a lie. Despite this calendar over here, it is a lie. This is why it's funny, because people who know me know this is the farthest thing from reality that could ever be. Y'all, I buried the lead right here. I had my second biggest sale. Dave thinks this is not big enough to be my second big enough sale, but it is. I don't deal in high-end merchandise. Second biggest sale I've ever had on eBay, as far as a singular listing goes. Now, we're pretty secure out here. We take different precautions, but this one I usually would keep inside, but I pulled it out here a little while ago because I was going to drop the price, and I knew it was going to sell. And so I hide it behind Chucky. It's not Chucky. He didn't sell for this much. And I put it right here because I knew the sale was imminent, and it still took a little bit longer than I thought, to be honest with you. This is, what's the name on this one? I paid $90 for this. Gainsborough Alvin Silverware from the 1930s, and it's sterling. Sold for $1,325 plus shipping. Now that's a pretty good profit. So I don't think there's anybody opposed to selling silver out there. Although I will say this, I got criticism in that video. It was an estate sale, nice older gentleman, beautiful home. I mean, on a huge piece of property, and everything was just too much. A lot of people were in and out of there. Once they saw the prices, in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm like, no, I'm going to find something. You can usually find something. And not only did we find that, and the price tag was 90 bucks on it, I was happy to pay it. I didn't know exactly how much it would be worth waiting, looking up the, because silver obviously has value because it's silver. But at the same time, some of those old sets and old designs have increased value, just like jewelry. And so I wasn't quite sure. I was pleasantly surprised. I had it listed for $1,500 at one point, had lots of watchers, just couldn't get a sale. So we dropped it down, it didn't sell, and then I dropped it down again, brought it in here because I knew it was going to sell. And yeah, people weren't very happy that I walked out of there for that. He says I should have gone back and paid more and all that stuff. So, which, well, I'll tell you what, I'll say that for another day. I'm looking for an LP here. Derek and the Dominoes. Let's see. There it is right there. Derek and the Dominoes. That one sold for $18.95 plus shipping. I don't know who Derek and the Dominoes are. I don't know what their political opinion is. I didn't bother to look it up. I just bought it and I sold it. And look, we've talked about this. We talked about stuff that I won't, we talked about the occult items. I can't bring that. I did sell Hollywood chainsaw hookers one time, a VHS. My wife didn't want that in here either, but, maybe I'm not consistent. We talked about Black Americana stuff and stuff that I thought I was okay with personally, and some of the ridiculous caricature stuff and whatever. You can't sell it anyways. But I wouldn't sell that. I'm not saying people shouldn't have opinions on what they personally should or shouldn't sell. I just can't imagine getting to the point where I would go on to somebody's channel and make an issue of it and not understand. Well, a lot of people watch and don't understand because they don't watch this channel. They don't know who I am and what my feelings are and whatever, and that's fine. But man, I don't turn off people I disagree with. I think it's good that we're not always in our echo chambers. That doesn't mean you can't have your beliefs. It doesn't mean you can't have your philosophies. It doesn't mean you can't have religious opinions, political opinions. It's what sharpens those things. And boy, we are polarized like never before. There, I found this hat. Look at that. There's a Reagan Library Air Force One hat. Am I allowed to sell that? All right. I know. I shouldn't be so flippant about it. Look, I realize people have opinions. But just for me, there are people that won't go to Disney because they don't agree with a movie that just came out. Or that won't go there because there's an animatronic president that they don't like. I don't know. That's just not me. Herschel. This hat right here did not go for much. It sold, but it was on clearance. Took a while, but it was a hat that's headed out of here. And look at all the hats I got. And we're only selling 1 or 2 every few days. So $11.20 plus shipping. I will say thank you to all the folks out there who allow me to be me. And we're going to do our best to allow you to be you. That's not what this conversation's about. It's really just a question. Will you do something? Let's just take politics, right? This is even happening in religion. I had a Buddhist item in here. And it's been a while, and I sold it, and somebody told me you should not have that in there at all, much less sell it. I'm like, okay, whatever. So will you sell stuff from people that aren't aligned with you politically? I think the answer is overwhelmingly yes. Some people might say yes, but, and that might be the but, and that's fine too. But, you know, everybody's welcome here to watch. I would love for people, I don't even mind debate. But let's not debate things that aren't relevant to what we're talking about here as resellers. I try not to do that. We do dig into some issues sometimes that there might be political differences on, but at least they're related to reselling. Now, I will say this, though. When there's things like our Dibdit marketplaces, right? I'm partnered with a bunch of people. That brings up another topic. Well, let me finish this one first. I'm getting a lot of criticism for jumping all over the place. It's just what I do. I apologize. So when I put my name on something, we have rules over on Dibdit. We don't want it to turn into some crazy stuff where people are getting on there doing stuff that totally really isn't who we are, if that makes any sense. We don't want people being, you see these shows on different platforms and people are just wasted and doing stuff and saying stuff that it's like, that's just not what I want it to be. So there are those kind of exceptions. But there's a bunch of us involved in these Dibdit 8. And so we don't, I don't get to make all the decisions, for instance. But we talk about things. And out of that group of people, there are people all over the political scale. I call them all friend. Same thing religiously. I call them all friend as well. And yes, I even mean Death Pile Picker. Anyway, Polo, Ralph Lauren, custom fit. This one needed to be oxyed and cleaned and all that, and it would have gone for good money. But, you know me. Sometimes I will, but sometimes I don't. Give them a better deal, they can clean it. $13.96, I think, for that one, plus shipping. I just noticed no viewer sales, at least none that I am aware of. I don't see repeat buyers on here. I don't see any of that. At any rate, oh, look at this. I just sold I'll do this on the next video. I just sold a Marlboro t-shirt. That got me thinking. Would there be people out there who wouldn't sell? It's not like I'm endorsing smoking cigarettes here, but I'm going to sell that shirt. It sold for good money. Sold one of these skull caps. That reminds me. I thought there'd be a lot of kickback when I sold an O.J. Simpson jersey. There wasn't, which is kind of cool. Or a Bill Cosby LP or something. I got to find, is it in this? No, it's got to be in this somewhere. This is just a plain Jane NWO one, I thought. I don't think it's Sting. Sting is here. Do we have any plain Jane ones? That's all Sting as well. Maybe it is a Sting one. I don't think it is, though. Hopefully I don't lose the quantity. Ah, it is Sting. No wonder. $7.66 is all we get for those, but we got multi-quantity at least. Just saw an NRA item back there, and I'm like, I pick up that stuff. A lot of that stuff's not worth anything anyways, but that's all over the place around where I live. I'm like a fish out of water in this place, The turkeys come and hang out in my backyard on Thanksgiving because they know I'm not going to shoot them. And everybody else around here would. That's my Southern California coming out in me. Any rate, if I lived in Chicago and I could find highly collectible Obama stuff, I'd sell that stuff like crazy. But I just thought of a good way for you to get around it and to assuage your conscience if there's something that you won't sell because of your beliefs. Maybe you could sell it and donate it to St. Jude. There's a good idea. I came in and found a cat down here. This is Toulouse, y'all. This cat's not supposed to be down here, but I bet you don't like that vacuum cleaner upstairs. All right. I wanted to give a quick announcement for those of you who love Pokemon and love cards and stuff. DibditCards.com next Wednesday, so 6 days from now. This is going to be, somebody's going to win this for $1. It's not an auction. Go over there, find this listing, make a $1 offer. We'll randomly select somebody to get this. This is 24 packs. The box was opened, but 24 packs action flips. This is like a $200 item, I think. I should double check that. Look at you, aren't you cute? Toulouse. That's from Aristocats. That's what they named it. All right. Anyway, go check it out, dibditcards.com. We got some exciting stuff coming up over there as well, including Gary V coming over. He's supposed to come over in July. Now it's going to be August, but it should be fun. All right, I got to keep that AC on because I got to ship all this stuff before my wife gets home. Reagan is upstairs cleaning up so she doesn't yell at all of us. She wouldn't yell. Would she yell if it was dirty? Probably not.
Yeah, but at you, not me.
So she's bailing me out. All right, Reagan sold. We've sold all of these except for, I think one is listed over on Dave's Kitchen Marketplace. I kept 2 for decoration that I have not sold anywhere. So everything else is sold so far. So that is cool. You're yawning. Y'all, by the way, I screwed up. I just made an assumption that this would ship out under £1. And Reagan did the shipping yesterday, and it did not ship out under £1.
The honey itself weighs over £1. So.
That's right. Might have to readjust and see if we can get an order. And the bees have got to get to work because we don't have any. Get an order of a little less because I did still make money. I made about 36 cents a piece on them after paying Reagan, after paying the beekeeper, after paying Just Be Crafting over on Instagram, and after donating the money to the animal shelter. So we've got all of these, and I still made a little bit of money. So we'll make some adjustments and get a price that's right for everybody where I don't go broke. But Reagan's making money, and that's what's important. And the little animals over there too. I bet the animals will be happy when Mama comes home. Yep. They haven't been down here. You guys must be keeping them busy. I swear I just heard one out there. At any rate, you sold 8 of those. We probably should thank them by name. All right, do you see? We just sold the last one over there too. So that's got to get shipped out. Yep. All right, can you read those?
Heather, Andrea, K-Dog, Iron Vault, Alan, Abigail, Where's the Sales? I don't know how to say that one.
Vatikas?
And
Adrian?
Yeah.
That's it. Thank y'all very much. Plus a couple more we auctioned off. You guys are super sweet to us. And give me your slogan.
Bye, and don't forget to get your stickers at commonwealthpicker.com.
I just went upstairs because my wife's been gone for a few days. And Jess hasn't been here. I've been doing everything. Now I feel for all you who don't have that help that I'm so lucky to have. And I got the kids working up there because Mama can't come home to a dirty house, you know. I gotta go pick her up in a few minutes. You know, I can afford people unsubscribing for reasons like that, but I cannot afford Blue Ridge Mama to unsubscribe from me. That would be terrible. At any rate, thank y'all for joining us, and I can't wait to see you next.